Welcome back, folks, to RightWay Podcast, where I'm your host, Franco Vega, and you know our theme is 10 minutes of healing the right way. For today's episode, I'm going to be interviewed by my lovely assistant, Haley. So we're going to talk about why we create this program, what's RightWay all about, and really just enlighten you guys on why we do what we do and how we do it. So without further ado, Haley.
Thank you, Franco. Let's jump right in. My first question for you is, what inspired you to create the RightWay Foundation?
What inspired me to create the RightWay Foundation? When I left the Army in 95, I landed a mentorship gig that turned into a case management gig called Rites of Passage. And it was in partnership with Department of Children and Family Services in Los Angeles County. And that really opened my eyes up to the youth coming out the foster care system. Back in those days, we had 64,000 youth in the foster care system just in LA County alone. Today, we have under 30,000, which we're moving in the right direction, but that's still a lot of youth. And so I can see myself and all the youth when I used to run the Rites of Passage classes and workshops. And since 1995, how many years is that? I think that's 30 years.
30
wow.
years.
I'm still here.
Nice.
And I'm only 31 years old. Wow. Okay, good to go.
And was it like a personal motivation for you as well to create the RightWay Foundation?
Yeah. Once again, since 1995, I worked for several major foundations and government, city, county run organizations. And then in 2011, I just got tired of watching people do it their way. Yeah. And I always thought that I can do it a different way and I can do it the right way. And so I took a leap, no grants, no money, and said, I've quit my job. And I started my own foundation, and we haven't looked back.
Nice. Glad you did that. And so RightWay's been in operation since 2011.
Yes.
What is the current objective of the organization?
Well, the current objective of the organization is really 4 pillars. Housing, mental health services, employment, and then community, all tied up in one. We learned that you should create a program and house it under one roof instead of referring youth out. And that's been our secret sauce. Our other secret sauce is making sure therapists are acting as job developers, housing navigators, and doing everything. That's where we hire licensed clinical social workers, which in the main word in that is social worker. Who better to deal with these youth problems than a therapist? But at the same time, a therapist can gain trust and build relationships while they're providing jobs and stable housing. Yeah. So that's been our secret sauce. We love it. We have over 1,300 youth in our program. We have 3 centers, 2 at the Baldwin Hills Crenshaw Mall in the heart of South Central, and then another center in Long Beach. That's our program in a nutshell.
Nice. So sounds like RightWay's working on expanding and also, growing the housing component, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Since COVID hit, back several years ago, when our babies were couch surfing, people closed the door on our kids. They were scared of COVID and said, no, you can't couch surf and bring back COVID to us. So our board went and raised a nice chunk of change right away. And we took that money and we started to master lease apartments. And we will put our own credit on the line, and it's our units. And then we'll sublease it to our youth. We created a great contract program for our youth. Meaning that, this is just not free room and board. You're going to pay a little bit, but you're still going to do X, Y, and Z. Your trauma is not going to pay the bills. And so we made sure we told the youth, we'll give a roof over your head, a decent place, roaches or rat-infested places, but we'll provide the therapy, and then we'll do the job placement at the same time. So we're just knocking down barriers for our youth and excuses. We're killing the excuses, and it's no fault of their own. But a lot of people have been making money off their trauma. I go into several meetings with several folks that don't look like us, and they're just banking off their trauma, with that trauma-informed stuff. I'm more culturally competent. Trauma-informed is nice, but no, you got to know how to reach our kids, and then you got to teach our kids that they can't let their trauma dictate them. Yeah. Our foster youth have to stop walking around with the trauma T-shirt on, and so. Right now, back to your original question, we're in escrow to buy a 16-unit building in Koreatown in our community.
Nice.
So everyone keep your fingers crossed. Hopefully by July 21st, that will be ours. and this is going to be our first major property. And then our plan is to build 100 units annually for 5 years, and I'll get us up to 500 units. And then we'll partner with other agencies to do the same thing, because at the end of the day, we really want 2,500 units.
Wow.
If you know the numbers, 50% of our babies will be homeless right away.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it's higher than that. And we can tell who's going to be homeless. When they come through our door, we can tell by the anger, the look on their face, that if we don't help them heal, the streets are going to get them.
Yeah.
So that's where we're moving towards as a foundation. The next part as a foundation is we want to expand. I listened to my board president the other day do a speech, and he was talking about business, and he was talking about there's two paths when you're an entrepreneur or you're going into business: growth and innovation. Since 2011, we've been innovators. We've mastered our technique. We love our model. Now it's time to grow. So we've been flying out to New York, talking to some folks. We're almost there, ready to open up RightWay in New York, and that'll be our first other office on the other side of the coast.
Nice.
And then our goal is to go to Atlanta, Tennessee, maybe DC, Maryland, Vegas, Minnesota. And then for selfish reasons, I want to go to Hawaii. But yeah, we want to expand and create a RightWay almost everywhere.
Nice.
Because what we learned is the tiers are the same.
Yeah.
The tiers are the same. The beatings are the same. The sexual molestations are the same. And so we have the recipe to heal them. Why not share it? And we don't want to go out to other places and take over the communities. We want to go as partners.
Yeah.
So that's why we're going and talking to other foundations and saying, look, we have the model, partner with us. We will fund it. Just let our folks, let my head licensed clinical social worker, our COO, Chief Operating Officer, Andrea, go out there and train other folks.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be traveling a lot, but we're excited about that. We don't believe that we should just keep this in LA. Our babies need us everywhere. And so that's where we're going as a foundation.
That's amazing, because it's really not just an LA problem, like you're saying. No. It really is nationwide.
Nationwide. It could be worldwide.
Yeah.
It could be worldwide. But yeah, once again, we have about 400,000 foster youth in the nation. And why not reach them all?
Yeah.
We're tired of the foster care system being a pipeline to prison. We're tired of the foster care system being a dropout system that don't provide no decent education. So, but it's a lot on our plate. Yeah. We're not taking this lightly. It's not going to be easy. Yeah. Just the traveling alone. I've been traveling a lot lately, and it gets tiring, but it's something that needs to be done.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And that leads me into my last question for the day. Do you have any future goals that we're working toward for our youth currently?
Going back to our basics, we've been dealing with housing and therapy a lot, and we want to reach back out to companies, securing more jobs. So I'll give you a good example. When we purchased this building, we want to tie it into a company. So everyone in this apartment building have the opportunity to work at this one company,
Wow.
And they don't all have to work there, but we want a company to dedicate at least 6 to 8 positions. So when they get their own apartment or unit, they got their company ready to go. Wow. And so that's the secret sauce, workforce development. And it's a lot of people hiring right now. So they just got to say yes.
Yeah. It's awesome. Sounds like such amazing, exciting stuff in the works. So thank you for letting me interview you today, Franco.
Well, thank you. Thank you for interviewing me. Well, now you guys know why we do what we do. We want you to tune in every week, every Friday, and listen to another guest take their pain and turn it into power. We believe that the most successful entrepreneurs, CEOs, have come from a lot of trauma. And the numbers do show that. And if we teach our kids how to take their pain and turn it into power, we think it's a win-win. So please tune in, support our cause, reach out to us, sign up for our newsletter, even donate just 10 little measly dollars a month. Help our youth get off the streets. On behalf of all the youth we serve, I want to say peace, God bless.